Every Tuesday night talking about the different things that empower our relationships. And one thing that gives empowerment, the words of this song that just played, it was, I am no longer slaves. And recognizing that we all have to declare and decree that we are children of the Most High and realize that we are enslaved by nothing. So we have to break all of those chains. And that is very appropriate for what we're going in tonight, because we are talking about suicide awareness. And you say, what does it have to do with being a slave? A lot of times we find ourselves in bondage. We find ourselves drugged down. We found ourselves depressed. We find ourselves grieving. And then in a society where we have a lot of bullying to our youth, it is taking a generation out early. So we need to learn how to find strength in the word. And I understand that some people are not at the same level, at the same walk, and some people haven't even declared they are a child of God. And tonight, that is what I am actually challenging you to do. I am challenging you to take that faith journey to first off begin to say, I'm a child of God. So all of the blessings and all of the words that are in the scripture are applicable to you. So that means we are covered. And of course, there are many sins. Taking your life is a sin. It's considered to be murder. But God is a forgiver of all sin. And so it is not our place to judge that sin any greater than any other sin. So tonight, we're not here to talk about how it's a sin, talk about it in the scripture, how you're condemned. What we're talking about is actually a life-saving. That's what we're doing. We're trying to save a life. We're trying to save lives tonight, so that it is not your youth, so it's not your spouse, because a lot of times the cry for help goes unheard. So this is how we do it here on 108 Praise. We find the scriptures, because I'm not going to, and as I always tell you, I'm not going to preach, but I want you to have some Christian foundation for you to go back and actually find out, what does God say about it? What does God say about it? And so we have two scriptures actually in Psalm 55:22. So y'all journey with me. If not, write down Psalms 55:22 to go back to actually give you something as a foundation to save your life. And it says, cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. So first of all, what he says, give him your burdens. Don't allow your burdens to be so heavy. And I know that is so scripture, that is so religious. What does that really mean? It doesn't mean we should be careless, we should not have any cares, but the burdens we should cast to the Lord. But the key word there is the righteous. So you have to be claimed that you are a child of God to get to a place of righteousness. So how do we apply that to our everyday life? We get to some places, we get to some low, depressed places, and we have to give it over to God. But what I want to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about some different places and how to transition through those places so we can have that life of abundance. So tonight, of course, we're going to sing and minister through the word, but we're going to minister through the song, and we're going to talk about and have a live discussion to save a life and about what suicide awareness, and it is going to require us, everybody here on the line, everybody Facebook, everybody that is periscoping, everybody that is YouTubing, everybody that is here live and can hear this, whether it's original or you hear it later on. This is a challenge for everyone to actually start being in tune and aware so that they can save a life. So I don't want you to always say, well, God put us here as his vessels for us to use us, for us to fellowship, for us to understand, and for us to commune with each other. And that is our relationship as Christians, as the church. As the church, we have to reach out and do more for the individuals. And why? Why are we talking about it here in December? December, I know everybody, besides the Suicide Awareness Month, but we're talking about it here in December because people think this is the highest time of year that people commit suicide. It's actually not. It's actually in the springtime. When it gets warm, a lot more people commit suicide, actually. But here is the season that a lot more people talk about loneliness and depression, because it's a season where people are pressured into being happy, joyful, and accommodating the feelings of others. But today, when we move into our songs, the first song is Matthew West, and it's about forgiveness. I want everybody to forgive, because forgiveness is a weight on you. Whether you have to forgive yourself, whether you need to forgive somebody else, do not allow that burden to take your life. Do not allow that burden for you to be walking and be spiritually dead. And a lot of times there are different hints and cries for help. I think we believe suicide is not because until somebody speaks about taking their life. Somebody who's continually to abuse drugs, somebody who continually overdrinks. Those are signs. Those are cries for help, and we need to recognize those signs. Forgiveness. Then it's Kirk Franklin. Pray for me. And we take that so for granted. All of us need to be praying for someone. When someone asks, when someone is requesting your prayers, take it seriously. Take the time to actually pray for them. I personally have a little written log. Every time somebody asks me to pray for them, I don't even need to know what it is that you need me to pray about, because God knows what it is. All I need to do is call out your name so that he can empty out and open up the blessings that are meant for you. God's favor and grace will come. So we're going to jump into those two songs, Matthew West, Forgiveness, Kirk Franklin, Pray for Me, and then I'm going to talk about another scripture, and then we're going to have a discussion about suicide awareness. So y'all come on and feel the Spirit of the Lord with us.